Right, friends. Welcome to day two of PKSR's July 2020 regular class. Okay. So, first, you guys confirm me with respect to the audio as well as video quality, and then I'll move on. Confirm me, Nana. Okay. Guys, now you can confirm me. All clear? Right. Everybody. Right, Nana. So, I think yesterday, guys, we have seen the first problem, right? Of divisional transfer pricing. Let's get on to that. All the students have gave them all the material that is required yesterday. Okay. So you guys confirm me. I'll just go on to that particular sum. We'll revise what we have done yesterday and then we'll move on with the today's session. Okay. Chalo. Let me go on to that page first. Okay, Nana. So I think this is the problem that we have done yesterday. Okay. Chalo. Before we get on to the session, we'll just revise what we have done yesterday and then we'll move on to the today's session. You guys are with me? Now be active in the chat. Okay. And we're gonna make it interactive and then we're gonna move on. Right. So what we have seen in day one. Okay. So initially we started with what are all the different, the way marks has been allocated in the previous examination papers. We started with May 2018. We have seen November 2018, right, Nana? And then May 2019 and November 2019 question papers. And we have analyzed them. And finally, we came to a conclusion that 80% there is a probability of getting what? Theory dominated questions or questions from theory dominated areas, and 20% there is a probability that you'll be getting sums from or questions from problem dominated areas, which means predominantly decision making, standard costing and transfer pricing. Remaining or theory chapters. Theory dominated chapter doesn't mean that there are no problems. Please try to understand theory dominated chapters. Okay, right. After that, what we guys have seen. Okay, this is one thing. That is what we have seen yesterday. Then finally, we came to a conclusion that this is the way we are going to approach. And first, we have started with which chapter, Nana? Transfer pricing. So first, we started with which chapter? Transfer pricing. Okay, let's revise it fatafat and then we'll move on to the today's session. So first, we try to understand the brief history of transfer pricing. So what was that? Earlier, it was a centralized way of doing business. Thereby, the head office used to control everything. It used to dictate the terms, orders to the branches or departments. Okay, and the branch managers has to just blindly follow what the head office says. And after that, what we have seen is that because of that, few employees, irrespective of whether they work or not, anyway they are going to get the same salary. Therefore, they were not showing any sort of efficiency or interest towards work, which was hurting the profits of the company. And therefore, what the company has eventually thought that we need to make all these managers or employees efficient, so that ultimately the profits of the company will further improvise. So for that, they came out with a solution, and that solution was decentralization. So once they have gone for decentralization, what they have done, they said that all these individual divisional managers or branch managers, whoever it is, We give you individual powers. We called it as divisional autonomy. That was the technical term, right? Key term. So divisional autonomy means we will not involve in your day-to-day activities. Okay. You can take your decisions on your own. However, we will give you some targets that can be profit per that particular quarter or whatever it is, return on investment or whatever it is. And then in case if you achieve that particular target, you will be getting bonus or incentives. So this acted as what? This particular target or bonus acted as an incentive, as a motivating factor for all these employees, and all of a sudden the problem of inefficiency gone, and these guys have started performing efficiently, correct? And that was really going good. And because of this particular concept of trying to measure the performance of these employees through profits or return on investment, we needed a concept called transfer pricing. That's where the whole logic of transfer pricing came in. And then we have seen that transfer pricing is nothing but you'll have two divisions, basically a supplying division as well as a receiving division. And supplying division will buy the raw materials from the outside, and then it will convert those raw materials into something called intermediate product, which is neither finished good or raw material. And this intermediate product will be transferred to receiving division, not at cost but at a price called transfer price, which is nothing but cost plus profit margin. Is that clear? Now, this supplying division, for this supplying division, transfer pricing will be revenue, and for receiving division, the same transfer pricing will be cost. So, the price at which supplying division transfers its intermediate product to receiving division is nothing but transfer price. This transfer price is revenue for the supplying division, and this transfer price is cost for the receiving division. You can call it as a receiving division or purchasing division, whatever it is. So naturally, when transfer price is revenue for the supplying division, it would definitely like to increase its revenue. So therefore, it would like to increase its transfer price. So it wants always high transfer price. Who wants high transfer price? Supplying division. And coming on to receiving division, because it's a cost, because receiving division is buying the intermediate product from the supplying division, so obviously it wants its cost to be reduced, correct? So always receiving division will try to reduce its cost, which is nothing but will try to reduce the transfer price, and supplying division will always tries to increase its revenue, that is increase its transfer price. This sort of mismatch between the supplying division and the receiving division with respect to transfer price, we have clearly defined it as transfer pricing conflict. What did we call? Transfer pricing conflict. Okay, anyway, after that we have seen certain important concepts. What are they? One is utility of transfer pricing, and different types of transfer pricing also we have seen. You guys remember that? So let's have a look into that one more time. We'll revise it and then we'll move on. Chalo. Let's start with the first one. Yeah, here it is. So examples of interdivisional transfers also we have seen, which means generally when we talk about transfer pricing, we generally feel that it's all about goods or sometimes services. But here I've clearly explained you that when you are into interdivisional transfers, you not only transfer goods, but also you transfer services. Not only that, you transfer intangibles like patents, know-how, as well as royalty, as well as you transfer interdivisional loans. So it is really broader in concept, but of course in our syllabus it is restricted to only two things. One is goods, the other one is services. That way it is done. After that, we have seen what are the uses of transfer pricing, what is the utility of transfer pricing, and here we have seen 4 important points. So what are they? First one, performance evaluation, that we have already seen. Transfer pricing helps you in evaluating the performance of your employees. How? Because of transfer pricing only, there is something called revenue for the supplying division. Otherwise, there is no revenue for supplying division unless it sells to the outside market. If it sells to the inside market, that is internal transfer to the receiving division, is there a revenue? Because it is not really selling to somebody outside, correct? So therefore, normally it will transfer at cost. In that case, there will be no question of calculation of profit for the supplying division, because where is the question of revenue over there? So therefore, transfer pricing helps you to create something called revenue, thereby it paves down the way for something called profit for the supplying division. Because of transfer pricing only, there is a possibility of profit for supplying division, and thereby there is a possibility of evaluating the performance of the supplying division. That's what we have seen yesterday, right? And second one, employee engagement and compensation. Because of this incentive concept, the bonus concept, because of performance evaluation, you are giving them bonus if the performance is good, and that bonus concept engages the employees more because they get more compensation. And the third one is this whole concept of transfer pricing ensures that the resources, whatever the resource that you have got, material, labor, or whatever it is, are allocated thoroughly, which means utilized thoroughly, which means it is utilized in an optimized manner, which means without wasting. How is that? When we solve problems only, you'll understand. Right now, just remember this particular concept, the line. Last but not least, transfer pricing helps you in taxation areas as well as profit repatriation or profit remittance. So that we have also seen yesterday with examples, right? So one example we have seen with respect to how they will utilize it for taxation, how they'll try to reduce their taxes. Similarly, I think we have seen China and India example where US was a holding company was in US, how profit repatriation also will influence, will get influenced by transfer pricing. So that we have seen. And after that, we have seen one fantastic problem, that is problem number 1. So what was that problem? Division A and Division B, there were two divisions. Division A produces goods at a cost of 10 rupees per unit and transfers the goods to Division B, which has additional cost of 5 rupees per unit. And Division B sells externally at 16 per unit, and the company has a policy of setting transfer price at cost plus 20%. You are required to calculate profit of each division and the overall profit the company made, as well as write a brief analysis of the results. Anyway, so yesterday basically what we have seen, first we try to calculate the divisions, the profits of each division that we have done. With respect to the supplying division, that is Division A, its variable cost was 10 rupees and the transfer price was fixed based on cost plus 20%. Therefore, cost is 10 plus 20%, it was 12, that was the revenue, and the profit ended up being 2. And this 12 rupees is the transfer price, which is revenue for supplying division, that is Division A. This will be purchased by receiving division. Therefore, this 12 becomes cost here. Apart from 12 rupees, Division B will incur its own cost. We can call it as own cost of Division B, or we can also call it as further processing cost, which is 5 rupees in this case. And Division B sells to the external market at a price called 16, and thereby eventually making a loss of 1 rupee. So total loss or profit for the company as a whole is 2 rupees positive profits from Division A plus 1 rupee negative profits of Division B. Thereby you get 1 rupee positive profit. This was the answer for the first part of the question. What was the first part of the question? Find out the profit of each division and the company as a whole. What makes this question really special? The second part. Write a brief analysis of the results. So what do we have to do? Whatever the numbers that we have calculated here, we need to analyze, and then we need to write our interpretation of what things are happening. How things are happening, what is going to happen. So there we have seen some beautiful points yesterday. So one by one we'll revise it and then we'll move on to the next problem. Guys, understand another important thing. Every chapter has got its own nature. For example, a chapter called decision making, the nature of the chapter is such that first we need to learn all the concepts and then only we can solve problems. Next, there is a chapter called standard costing. It also goes by the same logic. Most of the concepts will be learned at the beginning itself and then only we'll jump into problems. Transfer pricing is not a chapter of that kind. Transfer pricing is a chapter where you can learn concepts only from numbers. Means, for example, yesterday we have solved problem number 1 and we have learned some concepts out of it. That would have been impossible if we are just learning this as sentences. It's impossible. Only when I see numbers, only when I can understand the situation, from that only I can learn the concepts. That is the basic nature of the chapter itself. So every chapter has to be dealt the way it has to be dealt. You understand the point? This is very, very, very important. Because learning concepts is okay, it's one way, and learning the concepts in the right way is more important, even more important, because it makes things a lot more easier. So therefore, this is a chapter where we can learn concepts only by doing postmortem analysis after solving a problem. Let me make it very clear, and that is the nature of the chapter. However, the same logic or the same analogy we are not going to apply for the remaining chapters. For example, decision making, we're going to do it in a different way. Standard costing, we're going to do it in a different way. Of course, these are all the problematic dominated chapters. I mean, problem dominated chapters. Apart from that, everything else is theory dominated. We're going to see it in a different way, depending upon the chapter's nature. Okay. So I hope I make myself very clear. Okay. So before we get to that, let's say hi to our friends. Saran, good morning. Hemalata, good morning. Sabari Nath, good morning. Deepthi, audio quality is good. Thank you. Matthew, yes, all clear, sir. Thank you. Chetan, good morning. Diksha, good morning. Subhash Reddy, good morning. Sudama Gupta, yeah, good morning. CB Thakur, yeah, all good. Anupama, all are clear, sir. Yeah. So I hope everything is fine. Chalo. Hello, guys. Very good morning. Chalo. Anyway, now, so let's revise this particular sum. I hope it is clear how is the approach that we are going to apply for this particular chapter called transfer pricing. We're going to go for the next part. And you guys keep being active in the chart window. Got it, guys? Fantastic. Now, we have seen that we have calculated profit as a percentage on the finished good. The finished good, ultimately, this company is selling at 16 rupees. Cost for the company as a whole. From company's point of view, we are looking at the cost. Cost for the company is, it has got two divisions. For division A, the cost is 10 rupees. For division B, the cost is 5 rupees only. From the point of view of the company, it has got two divisions. Division A incurs 10 rupees, division B incurs 5 rupees. So what was the total cost? 15. And you were selling it at 16. So the profit element is 1 rupee. 1 rupee divided by the cost 15 comes to a markup of 6.67% on cost. So we have analyzed that this particular company is having a markup of 6.67% on the external sales, whereas there was a markup of 20% on the internal transfer. So which is not fair. Why? Because you cannot have two different markups. So either 20% should be wrong or 6.67% should be wrong. Both are possible. In case if 20% is wrong, say for example, or in case, let's put it this way, let's go in a positive way, 20% is right. You say that internal markup of 20% is correct. Then you better revise your external markup. Convert that from 6.67% to 20% by increasing the external selling price. That's one choice. Second choice is, in case you say that external markup of 6.67%, which you are charging from external customers, is fair enough, then you better revise the internal markup, reduce it all the way from 20% to 6.67%. That was first point of analysis. Point number 2. We have also seen that division A, if this continues, if this sort of transfer pricing fixation continues, that is cost plus 20%, division A will always make profits. Division B will always make loss. So this will be a double blow for the company. How? Because division A always makes profit and its profit is dependent on cost plus a percentage, which means if cost increases, more will be the percentage, more will be the revenue, more will be the profit. Therefore, division A may become inefficient on the verge of increasing its cost and thereby damaging the company's interest, which means creating a goal conflict. Yesterday itself I told you, any decision that has been taken by the individual divisional managers which are against the interest of the company will create something called goal conflict. Goal congruence means the decisions of the individual divisional managers, if they are in the interest of the company, then we call it as a goal congruence. These are two important keywords: goal conflict, goal congruence. Got the point? Anyway, now, so if you allow the situation to continue, division A will become inefficient because happily it's getting its profit just because as a percentage on its cost. So therefore, even if there is a chance of cost reduction or cost control, it won't do it, because if it reduces its cost, then its markup as a percentage of cost will get reduced, and therefore eventually its profit will get reduced. So it will not be interested to do something like that which is not in the interest of the company. So that's a goal conflict scenario. The second blow will be division B. Because it's always making losses, it may totally lose its motivation. I mean, division B manager may lose his motivation. He may get demoralized, and further it may hurt his efficiency, and thereby he may become even more inefficient, and thereby increasing the losses of division B, which is again not in the interest of the company. Are you able to understand? So finally, both will damage the company as a whole. So therefore, that was our second analysis. So what was the final solution for that? Probably you can ask division B to buy from outside, from an external vendor, and see there is a possibility of getting the same intermediate product at a lesser price. Division A, you may ask Division A to somehow try to reduce or control its cost. Thereby, if Division A can reduce this cost from 10 to all of a sudden, say for example 8 rupees or 9 rupees, then probably 8 or 9 rupees plus profit markup will reduce the transfer price, and that will reduce the cost for Division B, and thereby at least Division B may make some profit. Okay. And last but not least, we have seen an important point where the company may advise the receiving division, that is Division B, to buy from outside, from external vendor. And I told you yesterday that it's a very good thing for the company. Why? Because when you try to buy from your external vendor, there are two possibilities. Either your external buying price will be greater than the internal transfer price, or it will be less than the internal transfer price. For example, if it is greater than the internal transfer price, which means internal transfer price right now is 12, let's say it is greater than 12, say for example 13, then that means it confirms that your supplying division, that is Division A, is more efficient than the market, because the market price is 13 and you are transferring at 12, which means Division A's job is being done well. The problem is with Division B, therefore Division B has to increase its efficiency, period. Next, the second possibility is the external buying price will be less than the internal transfer price. Right now the internal transfer price is 12. Let's say the external buying price is 11. That again confirms that the Division A's efficiency is less than the market efficiency as a whole, because in the market the same product is being available at a price called 11, whereas you are selling at a price called 12. Therefore Division B will stop buying from Division A and it will start buying from the outside. And what will be the situation of Division A in that case? It cannot transfer to Division B, because Division B is buying from outside at 11 rupees, and Division A cannot sell it to outside as well, because outside already in the market it is available at 11. Where is the question of you selling at 12? So you are doomed. So Division A has got no other choice but to increase its efficiency, thereby reduce its cost, and which is good for the company again. So therefore, if the company allows Division B to buy from an external vendor, it's a master stroke, because eventually it will either increase the efficiency of Division A if Division A is inefficient, it will increase the efficiency of Division B if Division B is inefficient. That's the way it's gonna work. I hope it is clear. Right, chalo. So this was the yesterday's topic, guys. I hope we have revised everything. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now what we are going to do is that we're gonna solve an important problem to learn the concept of transfer pricing from my additional material. Okay, yesterday I've sent you two materials, guys. One is the total material, that is strategic cost and performance evaluation, a big material. Apart from that, I have sent you a small document as well with a name called transfer pricing. Okay, so I want you guys to take that particular document where you have only some 4 problems or 5 problems. So now we're gonna solve a sum called problem number 11. Okay, don't worry about the first 10 sums, guys. Here you have got first 10 sums now. All these are present in the material which I've sent you. I'll tell you. Say for example, see here. Why the problem is named as 11, you'll get clarity. See here, guys. Okay, look at the first sum here. This is what we have done yesterday. So this is already covered in this material. All these first 10 sums are already covered in this material. Okay, it is your study material sums only. So don't worry about that. So we have already covered here. Therefore, I've removed all those sums when I sent you this particular material. That's why your problem number starts from 11. Initially, when I prepared it, I included all the sums from study material. You understand the point? So therefore, don't get confused why the problem number is 11. Because the first 10 sums are already included in the main material. I hope I make myself very clear. There should be no doubts. Mark this as very important problem. Why? Because this is a golden problem which will clearly explain you how to fix transfer pricing. Okay. So before we get to this sum, let's have a look into the chart session. Okay, Thakur has messaged a lot. Buddy, you're asking variances related question. This is not the right platform right now because we are going with transfer pricing. You better message me personally. Okay. There we'll discuss. Okay, Mahendra Kalla, sir, for how many days these classes will be provided for free in YouTube through live lectures? 5 days, Nana. Today is the second day. It will be 3 more days. After that, it's only for students who have bought the classes and they'll be receiving the lectures every single day. That's the way it's going to work. Okay, and we call it as a blended live. Why? Because apart from getting the lectures, which usually happens in case of Google Drive and something like that, here the lectures are going to be the most updated ones. Plus, we're going to have a frequent doubt clarification sessions. So mostly through Zoom or some other platform. I'm just thinking about it. One platform will meet together, all the students. They'll be meeting up with me and we'll discuss a lot of things. General discussion will be there. We'll have doubt clarification sessions and we'll discuss so many other things also. So it is just like an interactive session, so that we need to have that live feeling. And I'll try to fix that interactive session as frequently as possible. That's my whole plan of action. That's why we called it as blended live. Varun Kumar sir, taking your classes. Yeah, it's awesome, sir. Thank you so much, Varun. Yeah. Chalo. Anyway, I hope I've talked to all of you. Right, Anna? Chalo. Now, this problem is very important, so I want you guys to concentrate over here. If you are ready, we'll start. Okay, now see you guys. Listen carefully. A company has two divisions. South division manufactures an intermediate product for which there is no immediate external market. North division incorporates this intermediate product into final product which it sells. 1 unit of intermediate product is used in the production of the final product. This point is very important. Why it is very important means, see, these are all the things that you have to learn from a lecturer. Is that clear? I'll tell you why. When there is supplying division and receiving division and the transfer is happening between both the divisions, look at the ratio, which means if 1 unit is transferred from supplying division, is it getting converted into finished good of 1 unit? Which means the ratio should be 1:1, input and output ratio. From supplying division, 1 unit is transferred, receiving division receives 1 unit and converts that into 1 unit of output. If a problem is like this, then there is no problem, no confusion. But certain problems, it will be 1:2. Some problems, it will be 2:1. Some problems, it will be 1:8. Some problems, it will be 0.2:1. Something like that. The ratios will keep on changing. So you have to be really careful in these kind of problems. Fortunately, the problem that we are doing right now, we don't have a problem. Why? Because 1 unit of intermediate product is used in the production of final product. So 1 unit of input is equal to 1 unit of output. So no problem for us. The expected units of the final product, which the North division estimates it can sell at various selling prices, are as follows. So these are all the selling prices of final product, which is nothing but finished good. 1000 units means you can sell it at 100. Increase the number of units, price reduces. 3000 units at 80 and so on. It is given. So what else we have? The cost of each division are as follows. You've got South division and North division. Variable cost per unit 11 and 7. Fixed cost per annum 60,000 and 90,000. So what else you have got? The transfer price has already been fixed, which is 35 for the intermediate product. Okay, obviously transfer price will be fixed for intermediate product only. You will not fix transfer price for final product, correct? And these determined on full cost plus basis. There are different methods of fixation of transfer price that we'll see later. Okay, so full cost plus basis means very simple: total cost plus profit markup. Okay, this total cost includes your variable cost as well as fixed cost. That is what you mean by full cost plus basis. Based on this logic, they have fixed the transfer price as 35. Let us see whether the transfer price works or not. So what are all the things that he has asked? First one, prepare profit statements for each division and the company as a whole for various selling prices. Next, state which selling price maximizes the profit of North division and the company as a whole, and comment on why the latest selling price is not selected by the North division. 3. State which transfer pricing policy will maximize the company's profit under a divisional organization. Assume that there is no capacity constraint. 4th, state the implications of transfer pricing policy in point C above on South division's profitability. Here a question. Okay? So now what you guys will do, read this question slowly, at least 2 times, and after that only we'll get into solving the answer. Okay guys, now understand one thing over here. See guys, reading a question is an art. Okay, it's an art. First, you have to read the question carefully. When you start reading the question from the first line, I don't know what's the requirement that has been asked at the end of the question. So I will read it like a story. Compulsorily, you have to read it the second time. Second time, what happens? The first time I would have read the whole question. I know what is the requirement stuff. Keeping this in mind, again I have to read the question one more time. Are you able to understand? This is very, very, very important. Then, when I read it during the second time, I know what has been asked in the question, therefore, I know which points must be stressed upon and which points can be taken in a lighter sense. So, you will read the question better. Therefore, always two times you have to read the question. That is minimum. If it is a big question like case study and all, I'll tell you there how to study. Minimum, it's three times, and we will see in that perspective. I mean, when we go to case study, we'll see it over there. Right now, just read it minimum two times with utmost concentration. Reading the question will give you 50% chance of solving the answer in a right way. Very important, even though you know the concept. So reading the question is very important. So read it carefully. Okay, chalo guys. If you're done with your question, we'll start. You got 1 minute, Nana. Sorry. Now, right now, since you guys have soft copy with you, what you can do is that open up the question in a phone and then keep it in front of you. Okay. I have opened here in another laptop. I've got two laptops over here. So the question is ready. So what you guys need to do, because after that, once I get into the answer, I can show you only one window. That is the answer window. Okay. I'll not be showing you the question window, but when we are solving the question, I'll keep frequently asking you that look at the question, look at the question. So then what you have to do, look at the question. If you have a physical copy, which eventually you'll be receiving, yesterday only you guys have sent me all the addresses and stuff like that. And see, the fun part is many students have taken the classes, but very few students are live. So which means probably people are sleeping. Okay, so it's okay, chalta hai. But then it has been sent to everybody. What is that? Soft copies. Right now, you go on with the soft copy. Eventually, the hard copies will be dispatched to your address. Okay. So the work in progress, because of the weekend, this problem, Nana. If it is not a weekend, immediately it would have been done. Today is Sunday, right? That's another reason. People are probably relaxing. Okay, right. Chalo. Anyway, guys, once you are done with reading the question, put in the comment section that you guys have read the question. Okay, very interesting it's going to be. We're gonna learn transfer pricing purely logically, without any formula. No formula, nothing doing, only logics. Right. Once you're done with your question, put it in the chat section. I'll move on to the answer. Done with reading, guys? Confirm me. I'll move on to the solution. Okay. Sudama Gupta, done, sir. Anybody else? Anupama, done. Right, next. Come on, come on, come on. Chat, chat, chat. Fast. I want everybody to participate. Otherwise, I'll not move on to the solution. Come on, next. Deepthi, done. Good. Remaining people. Once you're done with reading the question, we'll move on. We got very good amount of time here. We're gonna go with almost, if I'm not wrong, 180 hours is my expectation. I think definitely it will touch 200. Okay. Hemalata finished reading. Very good. Chalo. Anybody else? Diksha, done. Next, next, next. Okay. We're gonna go slow, steady, repeat, revise. This is going to be our philosophy. Double R, double S. R square, S square. Okay. Repeat, revise, slow, steady. And our target is 70 plus. That's what we are going to plan. Chalo, fantastic. I hope Mahesh, yeah, I've got confirmation from him as well. Let's move on. Now, what do you guys need to do? Ready? Okay, now we're gonna solve problem number 11 in your additional materials. Let me make it very clear. There should not be any confusion hereafter. The number is 11 here. I already explained you what happened to the first 10 because it was moved to your main material. So I hope everything is clear. Got it? Right. Chalo, now let's start. Look at the requirement of the question. Prepare profit statements for each division and the company as a whole for various selling prices. So the first target is to prepare what? Profit statements. Let's do that. Profitability statement for what is the first division here? You have your question. Who is the supplying division? South division. South division. Okay. Then we'll prepare profitability statement for receiving division, which is nothing but North division. Then we'll prepare profitability statement for the company as a whole. That's what he has asked. Na? See the question. Prepare profit statements for each division, the company as a whole, for various selling prices. So that's what we are going to do right now. Okay, first I'll go with units because there are different levels of output. Then I'll go with revenue. Can you please tell me what is the revenue for supplying division? Revenue is nothing but transfer price, correct? So when I ask you something, you guys need to respond. Okay, what is the revenue? Transfer price. And then you have got cost here. Okay, and then I've got profit. Very simple, right? So that is your profitability statement. Sales minus cost is equal to profit. Very simple. So what are the different levels of units that we have got? Let's have a look into that. Units or quantities sold. So you have got 1000, 2000. Then we have 3000, 4000, 5000, 6000. That's it. Okay, that's what we have got. Have question in front of you. You got to look at the question and look at these numbers simultaneously. You got it? Right. 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000 and 6000. Correct? Okay, what is the revenue? Right now, what is the transfer price they have fixed? 35. You need to have calci also in front of you. Of course, we can do the basic calculation, but beyond that, you need calculator with you, right? So the TP right now is, look at your question. The transfer price is 35 for intermediate products and is determined on full cost plus basis, 35. So 35 into 1000, how much you get? 35,000. 35 per unit into 1000. Next, 35 into 2000, correct? 70. Then we have 1,05,000. 1,40,000. Right, guys? So 1,40,000. And then you have got 35 more, 1,75,000, which is nothing but 5,000 units into 35. Then we have 6,000 units into 35. 2,10,000. हो गया? So simply what I've done, I've just taken units and I multiplied that with transfer price. The transfer price was how much? 35. So 35 into 1000, 35 into 2000, 35 into 3000, 35 into 4000, 5000 and 6000. Okay. Now what about the cost? Now when I say cost here, you should be taking only the relevant cost. Okay. What do you mean by relevant cost? Although I'll discuss the same concept in decision making chapter as well, right now just have a basic idea. Relevant cost means anything that changes is relevant. That's it. One point, it's done. What is relevant cost? Anything that changes is relevant. Anything that does not change is irrelevant. Very simple. So I'll write that point over here. Anything that changes is relevant. Anything that changes is relevant. Now, if you look at this question, obviously, you have variable cost and fixed cost, correct? Now, don't come to a conclusion that, sir, here we are trying to calculate profit and therefore we should be reducing all the cost. That's not the logic over here. The logic is, although I call it as profit, I will be reducing only the relevant cost. Fixed cost, if you see, it is 60,000 for South Division. Whether you sell 1000 units or 2000 or 3000 or 4000 or 5000 or 6000 or 7000 or 8000, whatever it is, your fixed cost is going to remain exactly the same. It's going to be constant. So when fixed cost is constant, irrespective of the decision that I take, whether I am deciding to sell 1000 units or 2000 or 5000 or 6000, your fixed cost remains the same. In that case, it is not influencing your decision, therefore you can ignore it. That's why I call it as irrelevant cost. Whatever my decision is going to be, anyway my fixed cost is going to remain constant, so why should I think about it? So therefore I consider it to be irrelevant. The only thing that is relevant for me is something that changes, and something that changes in this particular question is variable cost. Therefore, I'm going to take only variable cost. Let me make myself very clear. Chalo. Going by that logic, what is your variable cost? 11 for the South Division. So 11 per unit into 1000 units. It's going to be 11,000. Correct? Here 22,000, 33,000, 44,000. Then we have 55,000. 66,000. Done? So 1000 into 11, 2000 into 11, 3000 into 11 and so on. Is that clear, guys? Anyway. Chalo, now we're going to calculate profit. Now you people need to help me out with the numbers. Yes, what about the profit, guys? First one, 35,000 is the revenue minus 11,000. So it's 24,000. Then we have 70,000 minus 22,000. Although these are simple calculations, I'll use Calci because I have to ensure that the number is correct. If it is face-to-face class, means you guys will be confirming. So many of you will be confirming the numbers. So for me, it's much more comfortable. But here, I have to depend on myself. 1,05,000 minus 33,000. 72,000. Then you have 1,40,000 minus 44,000. 96. Then I have 1,75,000 minus 55,000. 1,20,000. Then we have 2,10,000 minus 66,000. 1,44,000. हो गया? Very simple calculation. ये तो हो गया. अब बताओ. Now, friends, tell me, friends. If you are South Division Manager, now listen carefully. If you or South Division Manager, what will you do? How many units you would like to manufacture? If you are South Division Manager, how many units you would like to manufacture? Give me the answer. Give me the answer. Yeah, some of you are participating. Very good. 24, 48. Yeah, 1,44,000. Thank you so much for the numbers. Now you people tell me, if you are South Division Manager, how many units you would like to manufacture? Comment over there. I'm going to see it. Yeah, it's okay. I'll wait for 30 seconds, but I want answer. Those who are watching it through either Google Drive or pen drive or right now live, I want all of you guys to tell me what's the answer. How many units you would like to manufacture? I got the answer from Mahesh, 6,000 units. Anybody else? If you are South Division Manager, how many units you would like to manufacture? 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. Yes. Why? Why? Because 6,000 is the output level at which at which my profit is maximum. So it's a common sense, right? I would like to manufacture that many number of units where my profit is maximum. So if I am South Division Manager, definitely I would like to manufacture 6,000 units. ये तो हुआ, right? Chalo, fantastic. Now, let's move on to the next one. Now, South Division is done. So, South Division Manager would like to manufacture 6,000 units because at 6,000 units, its profit is maximum. Logic is very simple. Okay, right? Next. Next, what I have to do? Profitability statement. For whom here? Receiving division. Receiving division का नाम क्या है? Right? North Division. Right? Okay. As usual, the first column is going to be units, different levels of output. Next column will be revenue. This is real revenue. Why? Because North Division is selling to the outside customers. So the sales that you get is the real sales. Okay. Next. Remember, in the first problem only we have seen receiving division will have two types of cost. Comment it over there. Comment it immediately. Receiving division will have two types of cost. What are those types of cost? Comment. Now itself you comment. What are the two costs that receiving division will have? One. Comment. Immediately comment. What is the first one? Intermediate product purchase cost. 2. Receiving division's own cost. We can also call it as what? Further processing cost. Comment right now. I should have seen this answer. Right? Intermediate product purchase cost is one cost, which the receiving division, that is the purchasing division, in this case North Division, buys from the South Division. So that is intermediate product purchase cost plus its own cost, which is further processing cost. Now, you know that intermediate product purchase cost is nothing but transfer price, correct? Because North Division buys at transfer price from the South Division, correct? And finally, you should be having what? Profit. Okay, all of you guys have commented. Very good. TP and own. Intermediate product cost and further processing cost. Very good, Mahesh. Sudama Gupta, TP and own. Very good. Anupama, TP and own. TP and its own cost. Very good. Everybody is right on the money. Fantastic. Now, so what about the units then? The units are going to be, see here guys, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. ये तो हो गया काम. Right, now we need to go for the revenue part. It's given in the question C. Here. Here it is correct. This is your different selling prices at different outputs. So this is what? North Division estimates it can sell various selling prices as follows. So this is for North Division only. So what is the revenue? 1,000 into 100 for the first level, correct? Kya re? You have to look at the question and give me the numbers. So what is the first number? 1,000 units will be sold at 100 per unit. So it's gonna be 1 lakh. I'll be very cautious with the numbers because you should not err, right? You should not be doing any error. Next, 2,000 into 90, correct? 2,000 units at 90 rupees. 1,80,000. Then we have got 3,000 into, look at your question, 80. I'm looking at the question here in another screen. 2,40,000. Next, 4,000 into 70. 2,80,000. Okay, what else you have got? 5,000 into 60. 3 lakhs. What else we have? 6,000 into 50. 3 lakhs again. All these are simple numbers, although I'm using Calci to be on the safer side so that we don't do any sort of error, because it's not a face-to-face class and nobody is there to correct me. Okay, if I do simple, mistakes like calculation stuff. Right, anyway, revenue is done. What is the next one? IP cost. Do I need to really calculate IP cost? Intermediate product purchase cost. Do I need to calculate? Tell me yes or no. Do I need to calculate? Or it's readily available? Yes or no? You got to comment obviously. Yes or no? Right, fine. It is no. Why? Because readily it is available. Where? Here. So this is the revenue for South division, that is supply division, which means this is the cost for the North division. So which means what should be your answer? Copy paste. 35,000, 70,000, 1,05,000, 1,40,000, 75, 2,10,000. If I'm not wrong, I hope I'm correct with the numbers. 2,10,000, 175, 140, 105, 70 and 35. Done. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, very good, Nana. Okay, no. The answer is no. Very good. Very good, guys. Fantastic. Because transfer price is nothing but intermediate product purchase cost. You guys are on fire. Love you guys. Very good. Chalo. Revenue of South division is nothing but intermediate product cost for North division. Very good, Diksha. Right. Chetan, no. Deepthi, no. Exactly. Everybody is right on the money. Fantastic. Chalo. Now, coming on to the own cost. What is own cost? It's the own cost of the receiving division. That is North division. Correct? So what about the North division, guys? Let's have a look into here. The variable cost is 7. Again, same logic applies here. When I say own cost, I will be taking only relevant cost. In North division, if you look at the question, I'm seeing here in the monitor, North division variable cost is 7 and fixed cost is 90,000. Will I consider 90,000? The answer is no. Why? Because I'm trying to take a decision over here. It is irrelevant for me. Therefore, the only relevant cost for me is 7. See, even if you consider 90 also, the decision will not change. Because if you reduce a constant number from everything, the decision remains same. Therefore, it is irrelevant for me. I don't consider it because it's not needed for taking a decision. That's why I go only with variable cost. What is variable cost? 7. Which means here it's going to be 7,000. 7 into 1,000. 7 per unit into 1,000 units. Next, 14. 21. 28. 35. 42. I hope I'm correct with the numbers. 7 per unit into number of units. 7 rupees per unit is the variable cost into number of units. I hope I'm clear. Right, Nana? All of you. Yeah, Hemalata Rajasthan. Readily on previous statement. Yes, of course, it is ready. Very good. Okay, we guys are done now. So we are done. What I have to do now? Let's calculate profit, guys. All of you, my dear friends, let's calculate profit. 1 lakh is the revenue minus 35,000 minus 7,000. It comes around 58. What else? 1,80,000 minus 70,000 minus 14,000. 96. Next, 2,40,000 minus 1,05,000 minus 21,000. So 1,14,000. Okay. Next, 2,80,000 minus 1,40,000 minus 28,000. 1,12,000. Next, 3 lakhs minus 1,75,000 minus 35,000. 90,000. And finally, 3 lakhs minus 2,10,000 minus 42. 48. Done. Now it's time for you to answer. Okay, tell me, North Division Manager would like to manufacture how many units? So put it in the comment section. North Division Manager would like to manufacture how many units? 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 or 6,000. You people need to answer. Okay? Yeah, 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 or 6,000. Put it in the comment section. North Division Manager would like to manufacture how many units? Yes, exactly. He will manufacture that many number of units at which his profit is maximum. Where profit is maximum? 58, 96, 114, 112, 90, 48. 114, which means the receiving division manager or the North Division would like to manufacture how many units? 3,000. Ho gaya? Yeah, everybody is perfect. Anupama, Mahesh, Diksha, yeah, everybody's right on the money. 3,000 units. Deepthi, everybody, right? You would like to manufacture how many units, guys? 3,000. Got the point? 3,000. So already we have seen here, South division is willing to manufacture 6,000. North division is willing to manufacture only 3,000. There itself we have a conflict. Here itself we have a conflict, right? Hemalata, Chetan, yeah, exactly. You guys are right on the money. Very good. So now we know that South division or the supply division would like to manufacture 6,000. Okay. North division would like to manufacture 3,000. Okay. That's fine. Let us see how many units the company wants to manufacture. Because the ultimate king is the company. We are doing all these things in the interest of the company. So let us find out how many units the company would like to manufacture. That also has been asked in the question. See here. Prepare profit statements for each division. Did we do that? Yes. South division prepared. North division prepared. And the company as a whole. So we need to prepare profitability statement for the company as a whole as well, which will tell us how many units company wants to manufacture. Ultimately, we need to support that only. Keep this in mind. Chalo. Now, next one will be profitability statement for the company as a whole. So which means now we are going to calculate the profit from company's point of view. Is that clear? Right. Chalo, ready? Yeah, 3,000. Exactly. You guys are perfect. North division manager would like to manufacture 3,000. Now let's calculate profitability statement, profitability from the company's point of view. So which means it's going to be units. Okay. Revenue. Okay. For company's point of view, now think as if you're the company. Think as if you're the company. If you're the company, if you're the company, if you're the company, what's going to happen? For you, you will have two types of cost. One is South division cost. Other one is North division cost. Correct? And I'll be having my profit. Very simple. Now, sales of the receiving division, which is nothing but the North division, is nothing but real sales for the company as well. And apart from that, it will have two different types of cost. One is, it has got two divisions, obviously, South division and North division. Therefore, it will have two types of cost. Very simple. Right. Let's write the units over here. So, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and we have 6,000. Can you please tell me, how do I fill this revenue column? Do I need to calculate or is it readily available? Do I need to calculate or is it readily available? You got to think and comment. Revenue for the company as a whole. Do I need to calculate or is it readily available? The answer is, it is readily available. Where? Here. Revenue of receiving division, the final division, is nothing but the revenue for the company as a whole, because your North division is selling to outside people only, na? So revenue of the North division, because it is selling to outside people, is nothing but real revenue for the company as well, correct? So copy paste. 1 lakh, 1,80,000. Then we have 2,40,000. We have 2,80,000. 3 lakhs and 3 lakhs. Okay. Revenue of the company is equal to revenue of North division. Diksha, yes, of course, because sales of customer is real revenue. Very good, Mahesh. Deepthi, North division revenue. Yes. Anupama B, real sales revenue is available. Yes. Mahesh, readily available. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. It's readily available. Yeah. Reminding people. Chalo. Revenue of the North division, that is receiving division, is nothing but the revenue for the company as a whole, because it's real sales, real revenue. Okay. Chalo, fantastic. Now, South division and North division, what is the cost? The cost is nothing but variable cost, the relevant cost, not the fixed cost. Okay. What is the variable cost of South division? 11. 11 rupees. 11 into 1000 units, 11,000. 22,000. 33,000. 44,000. 55,000. 66,000. Coming on to North Division, 7. So it is 7,000. 14. 21. 28. 35. 42. Okay, all of you guys, please confirm me the numbers. Once the numbers are confirmed, I'll move on. Right? Chalo. Right, Nana, 11 rupees is the variable cost for South Division, 7 rupees is the variable cost for North Division. I hope we are done with it. Right? Yeah. So you guys confirm me the numbers. We'll move on to calculation of profit. All of you. Yep. All the numbers are fine. Chalo. Now, so what's going to be your profit? 1 lakh minus 11,000 minus 7,000. 82. Next, 1,80,000 minus 22,000 minus 14,000. 1,44,000. Right. Thank you guys. Thank you for the confirmation. 2,40,000 minus 33,000 minus 21,000. 1,86,000. Next, 2,80,000 minus 44,000 minus 28,000. So 2,08,000. Next, 3 lakhs minus 55,000 minus 35,000. 2,10,000. Next, 3 lakhs minus 66,000 minus 42,000. 1,92,000. Okay, right. Now you people need to tell me what's gonna be the situation. Company would like to manufacture how many number of units? What is the output that company would love to manufacture? Answer is the same. At that particular output level at which the profit is maximum. Where it is maximum? 82, 144, 186, 208, 210, 192. 210 will be your answer. 210. 210. ये हुआ ना बात, right? Very interesting. Okay, 5,000 units. So the fun part here is South Division would like to manufacture 6,000. North Division would like to manufacture 3,000. Company wants 5,000. Now tell me what to do. You tell me. If you are facing a similar kind of a situation, common sense, use your common sense and tell me, what will you do? Because on one side, your South Division says, I'll manufacture 6,000. On other side, your North Division says, I will manufacture 3,000. You want both of them to manufacture 5,000. You means company. You want both of them to manufacture 5,000. अरे बहुत मुश्किल का काम है. So कैसा solve करना है? Use your common sense, guys, all of you. See, subject costing is lovable subject. It's the most interesting subject according to me in the entire world. And the beauty is, whatever you learn here, the same concept you learn in Australia, the same concept you learn in UK, the same concept you learn in France, same thing in US. Everywhere you go, nook and corner of the world, the concepts A to Z remains exactly the same. That's the beauty of costing. It's a universal subject. Right. So you guys need to tell me, what's the solution? South Division says 6,000, North Division says 3,000, company wants 5,000. So what will I do? Which one I'll support? Will I support South Division? Will I support North Division? Will I support company? You can use your common sense and you can say, what are we going to do? You understand now, this is the way a topic has to be learned. The unfortunate problem is people doesn't know how to learn. So when you have a problem of this model, which it has been specifically kept in the material only to learn the concepts. You understand that? That's the right way of learning. You need some problems which will teach you how to learn the concepts. And then from that, you will learn concepts and eventually we'll try to move on. So that's the best way of learning. Anyway, Kodeswar and goal conflict. This guy is right on money. Okay, chalo, exactly. This situation, we call it as goal conflict. The above situation referred as referred as goal conflict scenario. You have to support the company. Very good, Mahesh. Of course. What do you mean by goal conflict scenario? See it. If the decisions taken by individual divisions or against the interest of the company, then it is called goal conflict scenario. Goal conflict scenario. Obviously, the opposite will be goal congruence, which means if the decisions taken by the individual, if the decisions taken by the individual department, individual divisions or departments or branches, whatever it is. If the decisions taken by the individual departments or divisions or against the interest of the company, it is goal conflict scenario. If they are not against, if they are in the interest of the company, in favor of the company, then that will be called as goal congruence scenario. Goal congruence. So very two important keywords, Nana. One is goal congruence, other one is goal conflict. So understand this. The situation in this particular question is that the individual decisions of the divisional managers, that is South division would like to manufacture 6,000, North division would like to manufacture 3,000. These are against the interest of the company. Therefore, this is referred as goal conflict scenario. Now, any TP, any transfer pricing that leads to goal conflict scenario, we call it as a bad TP. So therefore, 35 TP that has been given in this question is a wrong one. It's not good TP. Good TP means, of course, that TP which creates goal congruence. Bad TP is that TP which creates what? Goal conflict scenario. It's a usual normal term that we use. Not an official term, but a normal term. Okay. Overall, the company's goal is prioritization will be making dual rate transfer pricing strategy. No, no, Kodiswaran, no. No need of dual rating. We can solve the goal conflict scenario in a different way. No need of dual rate right now. Anyway, reminding people they don't know all these concepts and all. Okay, chalo. Remaining people, don't worry. Okay, you are listening just now. So all the remaining concepts we're gonna see later. So this is a goal conflict scenario, right? Now how to solve it? How to solve? How to solve? So one thing is clear. This is a goal conflict scenario, and the existing transfer price in the question, which is 35, led to this particular scenario. 35 rupees transfer price is the reason you are facing this particular problem. Which means what do you have to do? Common sense. Change the TP. Fix the TP in such a way that your South division will manufacture 5,000. Your North division will manufacture 5,000. And that's what the company also wants. So can we fix TP like that? Yes, you can. That's the beauty that we are going to see right now. Yes, you can. You can fix transfer price in such a way that South division will manufacture 5,000 and North division will also manufacture 5,000, which means obviously they are in the interest of the company and goal congruence is achieved. The question is how to fix. Yeah, revise the TP. Exactly. Right answer, Anupama. How to fix the TP. Now, this is the most important part. Now, listen carefully. fixation of transfer price. Okay, guys, now listen, understand my approach. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a procedure. Initially, you will not understand why I'm taking certain columns. Let me make it very clear. Very clear. First, just follow the procedure that I'm doing. What are the columns that I'm taking to fix TP? Just follow the procedure. Understand how the numbers are calculated. The moment the numbers are done, then I will explain you the logics behind that. Purely, one thing is assured. Once you are inside Prasanna Kumar sir's class, that is PK sir's class, every single chapter will be dealt with logics only. Is that including standard costing? Including standard costing. Therefore, don't worry about that. We're gonna go for the logics. But before that, first let's understand the procedure. Only once I put the procedure, then only I can explain you the logic behind that. Why did I do it this way? Clear? Till that time, you guys should be with me. Are you guys ready? Chalo. Hemalata, increase TP. Really? You got to increase TP from 35? Okay, just wait then. Chalo, now. First column is going to be units. Next column will be revenue. Next column will be further processing cost. Next column will be net revenue. Next column will be NMR. NMR means net marginal revenue. Marginal means incremental. Marginal means incremental. Then you have something called marginal cost. These are all the columns. Why are all these columns? Don't worry. You need to have patience. Have patience. Wait. Have patience. Wait. Like right now, just you guys need to follow the procedure. That's it. Nothing else. Just follow the procedure. I hope I am very clear. Fantastic. Now see here. 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000, 6000. Okay, before we get to that, one thing I would like to clear here. I hope you guys are enjoying the interactive session, right? Rather than the routine, Google Drive classes. I know that. So that's why what I've decided is we're gonna have more frequent interactive sessions, even during the Google Drive classes. That's what I've planned. So what we are going to do is that I've already created a group. Guys who are not in a WhatsApp, try to create WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is very easy to communicate. I've already created a broadcasting group for you guys in WhatsApp. So what we are going to do is that we're going to communicate. So I'm going to communicate through WhatsApp only when we are going to have these interactive sessions. I'm trying to plan it as frequently as possible, so that what we are going to do is that we're going to discuss in a cool way. So say for example, half the chapter of TP is done or full chapter of TP is done. Immediately we'll have an interactive session. We're going to discuss over there problem by problem. First problem, any problem with anybody. Second problem, third problem, to fourth problem, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, every single concept we are going to discuss together. I think probably we'll go with a Zoom call or something. Zoom is Chinese, so that's why I'm thinking, let us see whether we can find an alternative or not. So the point is, we're gonna go for interactive sessions frequently. And you are going to talk to me, I'm going to talk to you, each and every one of you, and that too many a times. And there we are going to discuss. If you got any doubts, immediately it will be cleared. We will discuss so many things. I'll tell you the approach, how things is going to happen, and it's going to be lovely. Trust me. So this is not going to be a regular, kind of Google Drive sessions. That's why I called it as blended live. That is the reason I gave this name. So the batch is going to be blended live. So you're going to have a lot of fun. You'll just understand how much difference it's going to make the moment you'll start interacting with me quite a bit frequently. You understand the point? So it's going to be a lot more fun. So which means at least if we meet once for a chapter also, we're going to meet nearly 13 times. And if it is possible and if we are able to meet twice, then per chapter, then it's going to be at least 25 meetings. So we're going to have so many meetings. I'll just try to ensure that as many meetings as possible we are going to plan, and we're going to rock for sure. Okay, right. So thereby what we are going to do is that we're going to discuss a lot of things. So slowly, in a peacefully, and in a time, everything will be given to you in the WhatsApp group, and at that particular time you guys should be available, and you're going to have sessions. And each session I'm planning that I'll ensure that the number of people are limited. For example, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15 people in each session, so that we can cover many number of students, so that it's not too much in a particular session, and so that each and every one of you will be able to communicate to me really well. Or 10, 10, 10, 10 people every single session, like that. For example, 10 sessions for me. Okay, like that. Again, 10 into 10. So it's gonna be so many number of sessions, but I'm okay with it. I'm ready to spend time. Okay, because I want it to be interactive, and I'm gonna do it that particular way with you guys. Anyway, chalo, fantastic. Now let's move on. Coming on to revenue. Now, what is the revenue here? I'm talking about real sales or real revenue. What is the real revenue? We know it already. This one, right? So 1 lakh, 1 lakh 80 revenue of the receiving division, correct? That's the real sales. Chalo, 1 lakh, 1 lakh 80. What else you've got? 2 lakh 40, 2 lakh 80. What else? 3 lakhs and 3 lakhs. Okay, I hope we are done with the numbers over here, right? Fantastic. Next, further processing cost. What is the further processing cost, guys? 7 rupees. Further processing cost is nothing but own cost of receiving division. Own cost of receiving division, which is 7, which means 7,000, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. I hope I'm good with the numbers. Any mistake is there, you just need to inform me when it comes to error mistake. Okay, net revenue 93. Net revenue is nothing but revenue minus further processing cost, 93, correct? 1 lakh 80,000 minus 14,000, 1 lakh 66. Okay, 2 lakh 19, 2 lakh 52, 2 lakh 65, and 2 lakh 58. I hope I'm done with the numbers. Confirm me the numbers. We'll move on. I hope everything is fine. Confirm me the numbers in the chart section. Are we good with the numbers? Chalo, NMR. NMR means what? Net marginal revenue. Marginal revenue means incremental revenue. So the first column, it's going to be nil, because before 93,000 we don't have anything. Now see here, 1,66,000 minus 93,000. 1,66,000 minus 93,000. How much you get? 73,000. What is this 73,000? If you move from 1,000 units sales to 2,000 unit sales, you will get 73,000 more revenue, more net revenue. You will get 73,000 extra. That is the logic. Okay. Next, 2 lakh 19 minus 1 lakh 66,000 minus 1 lakh 66,000. It is 53,000. Okay. Next, 2 lakh 52,000 minus 2 lakh 19,000. 33,000. 2 lakh 65,000 minus 2 lakh 52,000. 13,000. This is 7,000 negative. Okay. Done. Now marginal cost. Marginal cost is nothing but cost of the south division. South division variable cost. Tell me, what is south division variable cost? Why I have taken this, I'll explain you later. Right now, just tell me the numbers. South division, the variable cost is 11 rupees, which means if you move from 1,000 to 2,000 units level, you have additional 1,000 units. For additional 1,000 units, what is the marginal cost? 1,000 into 11, which is 11,000. Again, if you move from 2,000 units to 3,000 units, for additional 1,000 units, every unit, the marginal cost for the south division will be 11 rupees, which means again it's going to be 11,000. Again 11,000 for another 1,000, 11,000 for another 1,000, 11,000 for another 1,000. I'm done with the numbers. Okay. Right, now see here how it's gonna work. Now listen carefully. Guys, listen carefully now. If the company moves from 1000 units to 2000 units level, I need to spend 11,000 rupees extra. I will be getting 73,000 in return. Question is, are you ready to spend 11,000 to get 73,000? The answer is yes. Therefore, I'll move from 1000 units level to 2000 units output level. Now, if you move from 2000 to 3000, you need to spend 11,000. You will be getting 53,000 in return. Will you move from 2000 to 3000? Yes. If you move from 3000 to 4000, you need to spend 11,000 to get 33,000 of revenue inflow. You need to spend 11,000 to get 33,000. Will you? Yes. If you move from 4,000 to 5,000, I need to spend 11,000 to get 13,000. Are you willing to spend 11,000 to get 13,000? Absolutely yes. If you move from 5,000 to 6,000, I need to spend 11,000 to get nothing. In fact, my revenue will reduce further by 7,000. Will I go? No. Which means I'll stop at 5,000 level. This is nothing but optimum output level. Optimum output level means the level at which your profit is maximum. Now, some students definitely would have got doubt here. Sir, 73,000 to bada number hai. 73,000 is a big number. 53,000 is a big number. 33,000 is a big number. When compared to 13,000, why did you choose 13,000? Nana, the logic is, this is the keyword. Yum. Yum means what? Marginal. Marginal means what? Incremental. Incremental means what? When I say I've chosen this 13,000, this particular level, that is 5,000 units, what does it mean? It means all these previous levels you have earned already. What do you mean by that? I've spent 11,000, I've got 73,000, I've earned. In addition to that, I've spent 11,000, I've got 53,000. In addition to that, I've spent 11,000, I've got 33,000. In addition to that, I've spent 11,000, I've got 13,000. So when I've chosen 13,000, it means that already I've enjoyed 73, I've enjoyed 53, I've enjoyed 33, plus I'm going to enjoy 13. That is the importance of the word marginal. Marginal means incremental. Incremental means additional. Are you able to understand? So I'll keep on going till I get 1 rupee extra also. If you need to spend 10 rupees to get 11 rupees, I'll go for that level also. Till I get something positive, I'll keep on moving from one level to another level. That is the logic. That is the importance of the word marginal. Marginal means incremental. Got it? Okay, right. Now you see how I'm going to fix the TP over here. Very simple. TP fixation. Transfer price fixation. You need to look at the optimum level here. I'm gonna fix two things. One is minimum transfer price. Other one is maximum transfer price. Okay? Logics I'll explain. Just wait. Minimum TP is nothing but I'll take this number. Where the number has come from? Here, 11,000. 11,000 divided by, that is for incremental 1000 units. So per unit it's going to be 11. Okay, next comes from here. That is maximum TP. 13,000 divided by 1000 units. So it's going to be 13. So the answer is 11 is less than, transfer price is less than 13. This is your answer. We have fixed TP. Anything between 11 and 13 is your answer. Sir, how is this possible? You have taken different columns. What is this revenue? What is this FPC? What is this net revenue? What is this NMR? What is this MC? Why did you compare NMR with MC? And finally, why 11,000 is taken as minimum TP and 13,000 is taken as maximum TP? Finally, the answer is 11 is less than, TP is less than 13. 35, which is given in the question, definitely does not fall within this category. Therefore, it is wrong TP. That's the reason we had the problem of goal conflict. Okay. Okay, now let's go with the example. Now see here. Listen carefully how I am going to explain the logic. This is the most important part. I want you guys to listen carefully. You guys are ready? We'll start. Ready? Chalo, now see. Let's say we have two people in a classroom. We'll take names from here itself. We have Anupama. We have Deepti. Okay? We have two people over here. Right? Anupama and Deepti. Now see. Listen carefully. They have bought a silk chocolate. Silk chocolate. Who? Anupama. The cost of the chocolate was 150. Okay? Listen carefully. I'm explaining the logic behind the steps that we have done just now. What is the cost with which Anupama has purchased a silk chocolate? 150 rupees. Now tell me, if you were Anupama, will you sell? So now the whole transaction is that the silk chocolate has to be sold by Anupama and it will be bought by Deepti, which means we can say Deepti is receiving division, Anupama is supplying division, something similar to that. Correct? Keep it in mind. So Deepti has to buy the chocolate from Anupama, right? Tell me, Anupama will be willing to sell the chocolate provided if the selling price is greater than 150, correct? In other words, minimum selling price should be 150, correct? If the selling price is 130, do you think Anupama will be willing to sell? No. She will say, the cost itself is 150 for me. I have spent 150 rupees to buy the chocolate. Why would I sell at a price that is less than 150? I will not. So the minimum selling price is nothing but the cost that has been spent by Anupama. In other words, minimum selling price is nothing but the cost that has been spent by the supplying division. So can you keep selling price less than 150 and expect the transaction to happen? The answer is no. Transaction will not happen because the supplying division or the Anupama will not be willing to sell. She will say, I will not sell because I have spent 150 rupees to buy it. Why would I sell for a price less than 150? Common sense, correct? You got it? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we all are convinced, right? So because she has spent 150, definitely she expects something more than 150. Therefore, minimum selling price has to be 150. Samajh gaya? What about maximum selling price? Okay, just because Anupama has spent 150 and based on that logic, we said that minimum selling price has to be 150. Can she say that I'm gonna fix the selling price as 500? Any selling price that she wants? Minimum is 150. Maximum she will say, I'll sell at 500. Will the transaction happen? No. Just because Anupama fixes a selling price, transaction will not happen. Deepti should be in a position to purchase, na? Now what Deepti is doing, Deepti is checking her purse. In her purse, she has got only 200 rupees. How much money she has got? In her purse, 200. So now, if Anupama says, I'll sell it at 300, 400, 500, what Deepti will say? All these things are not possible. I have only 200 with me. Maximum I can pay you is 200. Listen carefully. Maximum I can pay you is 200. Maximum Deepti can pay is 200. Maximum receiving division can pay is 200, which means you cannot fix selling price greater than 200, which means maximum selling price is 200. Correct? From this, what should be the selling price? 150 is less than, selling price is less than 200. Correct? This is the range. Selling price should be in between 150 and 200. Correct? 150 is less than selling price means what? Selling price should be greater than 150. Selling price is less than 200 means what? The selling price has to be less than 200. So it should be in between 150 and 200, correct? Then the transaction will happen. For example, suppose selling price is 160. Anupama will be happy. I have spent 150, I'm getting 160. Yes. Deepti also will be happy because I've got 200 and I've got the ability to buy. I have the capacity to buy. Why? Because I've got 200, I can pay you 160. So the transaction will happen. Suppose if the selling price is 170, Will the transaction happen? Yes. Why? Because Anupama is happy. I've spent 150, I'm getting 170. Happy. Deepthi, I've got 200, whereas you're asking only 170. So I can pay. I have the ability to pay. Transaction will happen? Yes. 140. Suppose the selling price is 140. Will the transaction will happen? No. Anupama will say, I have spent 150. Why would I sell at 140? Not possible. Are you able to understand? Not possible. So transaction will not happen. 210. If the selling price is 210, will the transaction happen? No, it will not happen. Why? Because Deepthi will say, I have only 200. When I have 200 with me in my purse, that is the money that I've got. How can I pay 210? Even if I want to, I don't have money. I can maximum pay how much? 200 only. So, to make a transaction happen, to fix minimum selling price and maximum selling price, you need two things. One is, you need what is the money that has been spent by the seller, the one who is trying to sell, so that you will fix the selling price more than the money that he has spent. Two, what is the money that the buyer has got? Because you cannot fix selling price more than the money that the buyer has got, then the buyer will not be able to buy. Buyer will not be able to buy because he doesn't have the money. So from this, what you have to understand logically, to fix a selling price or transfer price, because transfer price is also selling price, to fix a TP, you should know what is the money that has been spent by the supplying division. You should know what is the money that receiving division possesses. Between them will be your answer. The money that supplying division spent, the money that receiving division possesses. The money that supplying division spent, the money that receiving division possesses. The money that supplying division spent, the money that receiving division possesses. In this example, what is the money that supplying division has spent? 150. What is the money that receiving division possesses? 200 in the purse. Therefore, the transaction will happen only if the selling price is between 150 and 200. That's what we have fixed. Same logic we have applied here. Nothing different. How is that? I'll tell you. What do you mean by this NMR column? This NMR column is nothing but money that receiving division possesses. The 200 rupees, in my example which I have told you, 200 rupees. It's nothing but NMR column. Net marginal revenue is the column which tells you how much is the money that receiving division has got in his pockets. Imagine receiving division as a human being. It has a purse. In that purse of receiving division, how much money is there? You need to know, right? That is nothing but NMR. That is nothing but NMR. How? Very simple. See here. Suppose receiving division has sold 2,000 units. I am receiving division. I receive 1,80,000 cash. First, 1,80,000. Okay. I receive 1,80,000. In that first, I've got my own cost, which is nothing but further processing cost. Immediately, I spend 14,000. First, I receive 1,80,000. Immediately, I spend 14,000. How much I've got right now? 1,66,000. How much I've got right now? 1,66,000. In the previous level, that is 1,000 units level, I already have 93 with me. So how much is the extra revenue that I've got? Extra cash that I've got? 73. So 73 is the extra cash that I've got to buy the extra number of units. You understand the point? So the money that I've got is nothing but 73 with me. So NMR column basically tells you how much is the money that receiving division possesses. Receiving division gets money. Out of it, it has to spend its own cost, which is nothing but further processing cost. And the leftover is nothing but the money it has got. And we should not take decision based on totals. Always, when it comes to decision making, you should always go for incrementals, additional, marginal. You should never ever take decision based on totals. Therefore, this net revenue is nothing but it tells you how much is the money that receiving division possesses, but it tells you in a cumulative way. I don't want cumulative numbers to take decisions. I want incremental numbers to take decisions. Therefore, I've created NMR from net revenue. From NR, I've created NMR. NMR tells you what is the money that receiving division possesses in an incremental way so that it's easy for me to take decision. So NMR column tells you how much is the money that receiving division possesses. What about MC? MC column tells you the money spent by supplying division. Money spent by supplying division, that is nothing but 150. The chocolate example. In chocolate example, 150 is the money spent by the supplying division. That is nothing but this particular column, because supply and division is spending 11 rupees for every unit it wants to manufacture. 11 rupees. That's why I've put 11 over there. Therefore, what I've done, I already calculated my optimum output level, and I've checked at optimum output level, which is at that output level where the profit of the company is maximum, what is the money that receiving division possesses. At optimum output level, that is at the level where the profit of the company is maximum, I have checked how much is the money that receiving division possesses, and I've seen that receiving division has got 13 rupees in its pockets. 13,000 for 10,000 units, which is nothing but 13 rupees per unit. I know that receiving division has got 13 rupees per unit, and I know that supply division is spending 11 rupees per unit. Therefore, I need to fix TP between 11 and 13, and that's what I've done here. That's how I got the answer as 11 and 13. Let us take an example. See here. First example. I will keep the TP within the range 11, 13. So let's take 12. 12 is within the range. So it should create goal congruence. Let us see what happens. 12,000 is the TP. TP becomes cost for receiving division, which means receiving division will have to pay 12. Will it pay 12 in this scenario? Yes, it has got 73,000 money it has got, and the cost is 12,000. The TP cost is 12,000. If the TP is 12, just imagine if the TP is 12, then the receiving division has to pay 12,000. Will it pay 12,000? Yes, because it has got 73,000. So no problem. Let's go to next level. Again, the TP will be 12,000 for another 1,000 units. What is the money that receiving division has got? 53,000. So will it buy? Yes, because it has got the capability. For another 1,000 units, again the TP will be 12,000. It has got 33,000. So no problem. Again it will buy. For another 1,000 units, the TP cost will be 12,000. It has got 13,000. So again it will buy. It will not go to next level. So exactly it will stop at 5,000 units output level. That is what the company wants. Now let's change the example. Let's change the example. Now I've taken within the range. Therefore, exactly it has stopped at what level? 5,000 units level. Let's change the example. Now I'll take outside the range. Now see here. Suppose if it is 10, what happens? Straight away supply division or south division will say get lost. Why? My cost itself is 11, and if you say TP is 10, I need to spend 11 to get 10. I will not even manufacture one unit. Thereby straight away it's gone. When supply division does not manufacture, where is the question of receiving division getting it? So it's gone. Another example, 14 let us keep outside, because the maximum TP is only 13. I'll keep 14. Let us see what happens. If 14 is the TP, if 14 is transfer price, for this additional 1,000 units, you need to spend 14,000. Whereas the receiving division has got 73,000. So no problem. Expenditure is 14. I have 73. No problem. Again, for another 1,000 units, the expenditure will be 14,000. I have 53. Again, no problem. Again, for another 1,000 units, the expenditure will be 14,000. I have 33,000. Again, no problem. Again, for another 1,000 units, the expenditure will be 14, whereas I have 13. Therefore, I will not go to 5,000 units level. I will stop at 4,000 units output level itself. Who will stop? Receiving division will stop. Receiving division will stay, hold on. 4,000 units level, you hold on. That's enough. I am not willing to move from 4,000 to 5,000, because if I need to move from 4,000 to 5,000 units level, I need to pay you 14,000, whereas I have only 13,000 with me. Therefore, I'm not interested. I will stop at 4,000 itself, which the company doesn't want to happen. Company wants the receiving division to stop at 5,000, not at 4,000. To make him stop at 5,000, you know that the money that he has got is 13,000. Therefore, ensure that your TP is fixed less than 13,000. Then only he will stop at 5,000 output level. That's the logic. You understand the point? Chalo, fantastic. Anyway, you got this? Now let's move on and revise it one more time. Just a second, guys. Okay. Okay, this is what we have seen, right? Chalo, same stuff. Okay, same material, same stuff. Right, 73 was greater than 11, 53 was greater than 11, 33 was greater than 11, 13 is greater than 11, 13 is your optimum output level. We know this. Okay, now let's revise this one more time. Now see here, as I told you, NMR is nothing but money that receiving division has got, the money that receiving division possess, and MC is nothing but, that is marginal cost, is nothing but cost spent by the supplying division. Is that clear? So we compare marginal revenue with marginal cost. If MR is greater than MC, we'll go to next level. MR is greater than MC, we'll go to next level. MR is greater than MC, we'll go to next level. MR is greater than MC, we'll go to next level. But here MR is less than MC, so we'll stop here itself. That's the logic. Anyway, so transfer price fixation, 11 is less than TP is less than 13. That also we know. I try to make it very simple. Now see here, look at the logics. Listen here, guys. Minimum TP, maximum TP. We are going to revise again. Now listen carefully. Minimum TP. You should think from supplying division's point of view. Why? Because supplying division is the one who has spent the money. In the example that I have told you, I think let's go with that example which I've told you. Yeah. In this example, Anupama is the supplying division. Anupama is the one who has bought the chocolate. Therefore, when you're trying to fix minimum TP, you should think from Anupama's point of view. Why? Because Anupama is the one who has spent the money. That is 150. Therefore, when you're trying to fix minimum TP, you should always think from the supplying division's point of view. Why? Because supplying division is the one who has spent the money. Supplying division is the one who has spent the money. Therefore, think from their perspective. Because supplying division is the one who is spending the money, we must ensure that supplying division gets more than what it has spent. In this example, Anupama is the one who has spent the money of 150. So we need to ensure that she gets more than what she has spent. Therefore, minimum TP or minimum selling price should be 150 because she should be getting more than what she has spent. Got this? Next, moving on to the next one. Maximum TP, you should think from receiving division's point of view because receiving or purchasing division is the one who is going to buy, and we must ensure that he has got sufficient money to buy. Coming on to this example, who is going to buy here? Deepthi. And you should ensure that Deepthi has got sufficient money to buy. So when we check her purse, we know that she has got 200 rupees. So 200 rupees is the money she has got, which means she cannot buy if the price is fixed more than 200. So always when you're trying to fix minimum TP, think from supplying division's point of view. Maximum TP, think from receiving division's point of view. This is a simple logic, a single sentence for this entire chapter. Entire chapter. I've seen many students, they are just trying to buy hard the things that has been given in the study material. All these things are not necessary. Simple logic. Minimum TP means immediately imagine, okay, minimum TP. Supply division would have spent the money. How much it has spent? Let us see. Upon that, we will fix the TP. You understand the point? So minimum TP is nothing but the money that is being spent by the supplying division. Maximum TP is nothing but the money that receiving division possesses. Game over. Minimum TP is nothing but the money that supplying division has spent. Maximum TP is nothing but the money that receiving division possesses. Ho gaya. Any problem, any situation, anywhere, it's the same logic, na? Logic will never change. Logic will never change, right? See here. This is the summary. Just look at the summary. Remaining we'll see tomorrow. Essence of the concept. Minimum TP is nothing but cost spent by supplying division. Maximum TP is nothing but money that receiving division possesses or money that purchasing division possesses. Very simple. Game over. Got this, guys? Okay. You will copy this tomorrow. You'll copy this tomorrow. Okay. Right now, just tell me because the time is up. You'll copy this tomorrow. Right now, tell me any doubts. You got to put it in the chat section. Any doubts with respect to this step? I'll take that page only. This is where I've explained you, right? Chalo, here. Okay, any doubts you tell me, I'll clarify. With that, we'll wind up the session today. Tomorrow, we'll again revise this particular concept and then you will write notes and then we'll move on to the next concept. Any doubts? This particular step, Nana, see it carefully and then tell me. Any doubts, buddies? Fatafat. I'm waiting for your chart. Anupama has confirmed there is no doubt. Anybody else? I want everybody. Tomorrow we'll revise it one more time. I hope you guys have really enjoyed the logics. I really hope. Because that's the way obviously we have to learn. These things and all you will not find it in books, Nana. Not ICA study mental, not private authors books. Nowhere you'll find. It's purely because of the experience and the expertise we have in the subject. Okay, that's why you should find the right faculty always. Right? Okay, Diksha, no doubt. Hemalata Rajeshwaran, no doubt. Anybody? Anupama, Surma Gupta, yeah. Confirm me. Fatafat. Any doubts is there? Now itself I'll clear. Here itself. All of you guys, come on. Fatafat. Give me the message. Chetan, no doubt. Remaining people. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, right? See how interesting it is. It's simple concept. When I told you the example of the chocolate, you can see that it's very easy to fix the selling price or transfer price, right? But then when you see these columns in study metal, it's like revenue, further processing cost, net revenue, net marginal revenue. Even today, I've seen students net marginal revenue and marginal cost. They'll try to buy hard it without knowing that net marginal revenue is nothing but the money that receiving division possesses. MC is nothing but the money that has been spent by the supply division. If you know this, suddenly it seems so simple. It's really logical, right? Unfortunately, because English is not our mother tongue, that's the reason we so many times we find it little bit strange. If at all it would have been our mother tongue, things would have been a lot more simpler. Concepts would have been a lot more simpler. Okay. So Deepthi also confirmed there is no doubt. Remaining people, fatafat, all of you. We're gonna have a lot of fun here, this particular batch. That's for sure. Anybody else? Chalo, fantastic. Time is up. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's session. Tomorrow's agenda will be first we'll revise this and you guys will copy the solution, and after that we'll go for another solution. That will be the agenda for tomorrow. Of course, remaining concepts we'll try to cover. So that when I'm revising, you guys need to copy. Simultaneously it will happen. Okay, so we'll copy again, we'll revise one more time, so that even if there is a, now everybody has confirmed me that there is no doubt, all of you have typed, and still if there is something, we'll finish it off tomorrow, right? So thank you guys. Let's wind up the session today. Thank you.